Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO City Undercover. Let's continue. Really gotta embrace stealing cars and using them. This game is gonna have me driving around too much for this not to really be happen. Even if it is just a short trip that you think you're gonna have like this, there's a decent chance you're gonna start a cutscene and then need to be in a car. Although it's been a long time since we've done a real level, so I wouldn't be surprised if this actually is a real level. But I do want to just get the whole story finished. So just a ninja stealing things, and he got flattened. Where am I supposed to be going? This way. Alright. So it is a chase sequence that we're doing against this guy. And I had just voluntarily done this whole section. And now it goes to just show how little it makes sense to voluntarily do any of these sections, because you're gonna end up doing them again. There is something I think that to be considered about the way this plays, in particular. One has to kind of assume that even if this game was being given to the QA people as some kind of dev build for the Wii U originally, and the PC port and remaster would have had to been given to QA people, so people would have certainly run into the micro stuttering. I imagine people have run into it many times, and it is just known as a known shippable, is what it often is called as far as bugs, that they just don't care to try and fix it. Or perhaps, I mean, it is possible, but it would be really bad QA if, say, all of the computers that game testers playing the games used were the exact same model of the exact same computer, and that one model of that one computer, it worked perfectly well.
Chase. Natalia! I thought Chan's men were after me.
They kinda are. I'm undercover in his game. Why were you in his office?
I'm trying to find my dad, Chase.
What? Like in a filing cabinet?
No.
Interesting.
I mean that just before he disappeared, he was seen getting into a limousine.
One of Chan's?
I think so. But the only stuff I found in Chan's office were empty money bags from Papalardo's.
Papalardo's?
Yeah, the ice cream place with the trucks, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
Is he gonna have some kind of flashback?
For Vinny Papalardo's gang. Is it Vinny that's working for Rex? Hey, where are you going?
Chan must be keeping my dad somewhere else.
Stop! It's too risky. I'll find your dad. It's the least I can do.
I am not gonna let you endanger my dad just so you can make up for the past.
That's not why I want to help you.
I'm surprised he doesn't just arrest her. That would be the right response. Is, hey, you're interfering with a police interface investigation. I'm gonna arrest you if you don't quit it. I think Chapter 5 had no level in it at all. Like, unless there was one really at the beginning. This entire chapter seems to have worked around
what did you
actual
find
level.
in my office, driver?
Oh, nothing. I think an animal got in and set the alarm off. Some sort of stubborn mule.
Not again. This is why I told you not to store carrots in there, idiot!
So don't worry. No one knows you're working for Vinny Pappalardo.
Excellent. What? You looked at my records?
Sorry, I couldn't help it. But wow, Vinny Pappalardo is one heck of a criminal.
Maybe so, but unlike me, Vinny Pappalardo has quite a temper. What? I am very mild-mannered! You're fired! Also, he doesn't trust anyone. Not since Mo, his right-hand man, got arrested.
Huh. Vinny would probably be really grateful to anyone who could help with that.
Oh, yes. You could just steal a prison truck and then pick him up outside the courthouse where he's being sentenced today. Wait a minute. You're not thinking about joining his crew, are you? You're my driver!
Not for much longer. If I can get Mo out of jail, that could be my way into Vinny's gang and get me one step closer to Rex.
Hey, Chase, what you need?
Two
What can
phone
you tell me about
calls
Vinny
in a row.
Pappalardo's right-hand man?
Mo DeLuca? He's not actually a criminal. He's just Vinny's cousin.
So why is he being sentenced?
Let me check. Wow, 412 unpaid parking violations.
Parking tickets? So, I suppose it won't really matter if he doesn't go to jail.
What
Okay.
are you up to, Chase?
Chan is working for Vinny, and I'm pretty sure Vinny is working for Rex. But to get in with Vinny, I'll need him to trust me.
By busting out Mo DeLuca? That doesn't sound very by the book.
It's the only lead I've got. Does the department have a prison transport truck I can borrow?
Maybe. Try Chuck. He's outside the back of the station. I'll tell him you're coming.
Let's see. So we had so much dialogue to happen there that I've just decided to do a side quest while I'm at it. These distractions, like... And so apparently I'm supposed to locate a suspect. And I don't think I'm anywhere close to doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Is this a suspect? Seems to want to point me this direction. Feels like I didn't unlock this ability, and yet somehow I have a way of using this ability. Because this seems awkward. Seems like it should have been easier to locate a suspect by now. There's a lot of random people, but not anybody that's really staying still, so it would be hard, to say the least, to... I want to slide down this. Alright, let's get out of here. Yeah, this game has some awkward balance going on with it. And the story is starting to kind of warm up, but really isn't doing a great job of it so far. So the best bet I can figure is just to run in the middle of the road in between the line and hope that that a car approaches me close enough that I can press Y to steal. Of course, it would probably make more sense.
Sorry,
To-
police business.
Probably make more sense to just run on the other side of the street so I can see the cars coming. This car is slow. There definitely are cars that have nitro in them, so like it probably is smarter to take something like this and then just burn the nitro. There went a full nitro tank, and that sped up a little bit, but I don't think enough to kind of justify things. Right. It wants me to pull in over here. Alright. Of course, the car is making an annoying sound, so let's get out of that.
Hey there, Officer McCain. I've been expecting you.
Great. So do you have a prison transport I can use?
I sure do, but I could get into a lot of trouble for lending it out.
Then maybe there's something I could...
Perfect. You read my mind. Grab that box and follow me. Dump the box down over here. It's a bike I mail ordered.
You actually do mail order
Oh man,
a lot of
they
pipe
didn't include
parts
the wheels. Think you can
for
find some spares?
motorcycles and bikes. Although you're kind of freight shipping, which is very expensive shipping. A lot of it too, like the engine. Alright. So, just gotta break things. Get the super brick. And then drag this wheel that's heavy, therefore everything is taking too long. I can't jump right now, so tapping A. It says press A to perform free running. Can't do it right now. Right.
That's one. Find another. It ain't a unicycle.
Alright, so press A to perform free running on blue objects. So it doesn't even seem like that's really what I could do right now. We've got to figure out where the other wheel would be. Where would the other wheel be? Because we've kind of been over this whole area, so I have to take a moment to think about this and see if there's an area over in this part that looks a little less familiar. Well, it seems like at some point we might even have a boat. Probably is something to collect further down this way, even if that isn't where we're supposed to go. But we can also see that there's a considerable amount of stuff that's still locked behind things we have no use for, or we can't interact with. Maybe I'll fish up a wheel. Yep, okay. It's weird how this game works. It seems like it's way too willing to not really explain itself or lock you in an area, so you can get this feeling like you might have to run halfway across the island to find an object when you really shouldn't. And what once in Lego games were clear linear lines of Lego studs showing that you should walk in this direction, the open world has now made the Lego stud lines more of an example of just random placement. They may make sense in the first instance that you're in an area, but then they are complete distractions otherwise. Like the studs here would take me in a totally different direction than where I need to go, and the ghost studs are in no way well programmed like they are in Lego Marvel Superheroes. If anything, this is a shame that...
Oh, wait, I'm thinking of tricycles. Well, it looks real nice. I wonder if it's safe to ride. Well, I guess there's only one way I'm gonna find out. You should take it out for a spin. Just once round Cherry Tree Hills and Auburn Dock should do.
Screw anything down. Okay. Guess I have to. Lag, lag, lag. Micro stuttering. Still hearing that sound effect. Hello. This feels like a real race. So I have just starting with like 30 seconds, and then I get a boost every time I hit one of these. So are we gonna see a lot of these throughout this game, or are we not gonna see many at all? I'd be surprised if we don't see as many as I think. Oh, this is taking me up to this area, which is probably setting myself up for a large jump. That turned me around. We've been around this area several times, so music's different, which is a nice change of pace. But certainly could see if this was lagging and micro stuttering for somebody, this would turn from a entertaining experience into a nightmare experience rather quickly. Frankly, I just want to get back to doing a regular Lego level. It seems almost like they intended to not have any regular Lego levels for this game at all. And then they added them at the last second. That might have been the case. It would explain why there's only 15 when honestly this feels like something that should have had 30. Particularly when we consider that this is the port of it, so they could have added more things to do in the port and remastered the game a lot more than I think they did. I don't think they added anything.
That was pretty speedy, and it's still in one piece. A deal is a deal. You'll find the prison transport truck in there.
Alright. So now we've unlocked time trials. So now throughout the world there will be time trials to distract ourselves with. And apparently there's a vehicle that they just wanted to show me. But where is that vehicle? It's like over there. Kind of for no reason. That's not the car we're supposed to be taking. Take the prison truck to the courthouse. Then we'll get the prisoner, and then we'll assume, I guess, assumedly get chased by the police. Let's see if we can get a straight run so we can boost up with our nitro. Notice how the people always jump out of of the way, I don't think you can actually run anybody over. And they're making a special effort to say the bad things I'm doing as an undercover police officer aren't that bad, which, I mean, really just hides the fact that undercover police officers often do horrific illegal activity in the role of their in accomplishing their roles and their duties, and often they go too far with it and do illegal things that they really shouldn't have done. Often you have police officers doing drugs and getting addicted to them while being undercover, or sleeping with prostitutes when they really didn't need to prove that they were a bad guy. Too much driving. Way too much driving. Was this was the idea here to just make a driving game? If this was the concept, that this was just going to be a driving game with to start off with, whether it was a LEGO driving game or not, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense because there's still not enough people and roads, so it kind of doesn't make sense that would be the concept also. Just kind of feels like every part of the game is half finished. The city needs to be twice as big. The number of roads needs to be twice as big. The number of levels needs to be doubled.
Thanks to those parking tickets. Another job done and the final day of my 36-year-long career finished. And all without a single blemish.
Hey, Pat. I'm here from Mo DeLuca.
Oops. That's interesting that the bird pooped on him, but the bird poop
okay back there, Mr.
wasn't.
I ain't talking to you. Just shut up and take me to Albatross. If you insist. But I don't really work for the prison, so we can go somewhere else if you like. What? Oh, man. I knew Vinny'd come through for me. What's your name, kid? Chase. Don't know you? Don't care. Take me to the usual hideout. Actually, I work for Chan Chuang, but I'm sick of it. I arranged this escape because I want to work for a real criminal. Ha-ha! Shows you got guts, Chase. Cedar Street.
This really is just a walk and talk or a drive and talk.
This might get bumpy. If it gets me out of an 8-year stretch, you can make it as bumpy as you like.
See, you kind of need permission even to drive badly. Like, when you know kids would crash these cars like crazy.
That's not bad, kid.
Honestly, yeah, if you're gonna make a LEGO kid driving game, it probably should be something akin to a Demolition Derby experience.
You're pretty good at driving.
We don't have a timer, so I guess we're probably just trying not to crash too much or take too much damage.
This is making me all nostalgic for the time Jimmy Squarelegs stuffed me in his trunk and drove me over the border.
I kind of wish these cars would just blow up on one hit. The partial damage is unnecessary except for when I'm driving.
I can't believe they were gonna send me down for 8 years just because of some parking tickets. I mean, sure, I should have hired a lawyer instead of defending myself. And yes, I did tell the judge he was stupid, but 8 years! We're getting close. So, do you really want to jump ship to Vinny's crew? Yeah. Huh?
He's just sitting in the background.
You're good with me, kid.
You can actually see him.
He's another case altogether. You're gonna have to
His
do
lips are
something
moving.
really special to get in with him. Whatever it takes, Mr. DeLuca.
See, if this concept of this game was stealing more ideas from something like Crackdown, you would have had 2 or 3 games fighting each other heavily, and then the police in the middle. But that's not really what's going on here. It's just kind of like you join one gang and then use them for a small brief moment, and then you join the next gang.
Come around the back and let me out.
Let you out. The back is missing completely.
Thanks.
Mo, you escaped. We was just formulating a plan to bust you out of Albatross for Vinny.
Too late. This kid beat you to it. Now get rid of that truck. Thanks, Chase. I'll be in touch.
Jeez, that kind of feels like the story is just ending here. Well, they got to run over some people with a car. Maybe you can run some people over with a car. Yeah, why didn't he just bring you in and have a cutscene conversation? Why do I have to have this video conversation now?
Hey, Chase. I think I found your in with my cousin Vinny.
That was fast. What is it?
My brother-in-law works at the airport. Said they got some shipment of fancy high-tech gizmos in from a security company out east. I know for a fact that Vinny would really like to get his hands on them.
And how do I get my hands on them in the first place?
Okay. I don't usually like to do jobs myself, but you did me a real solid back at the courthouse. So I'll help you out this once. Meet me in a car park south of the airport.
I'll get right over there.
Alright.
How's things?
Seriously? It seems like it wanted me to go exactly where I was already. How far is this? It seems like I can just take a shortcut over this way, or maybe even swim over this way. Otherwise I'm gonna have to drive all the way around for no good reason. This is dull. This is dull. Like, yeah, why didn't it just bring me in, give me a cutscene, give me a car, and let me be in that car specifically to go to this next section? Like, they specifically took away my car so I could just steal another car. Silly. Why not at the very least have that whole conversation happen when I can't wander around, and then have a parking lot like this where you have a selection of several cars you could take.
I hope Mo doesn't take long.
Hey, Chase. I hope I didn't keep you waiting.
That was one thing about LA Noirs.
This car is for you.
Every
Belongs to my
parking
brother,
lot
who I
had
don't get on with.
a collection of cars, some of which were unlockable
With my driving, that's a
only
guarantee.
in that like
Whoa.
one spot.
And that's the truck you gotta stop. Get in the car.
So we don't have a timer yet. Hop in
Great.
this car.
Now floor it.
It's a Dullahan. I think that's supposed to be a DeLorean reference, but it doesn't really look like a DeLorean. Problem with all of these races is that they're the same. It's the camera angle's not really the best, so all I can really do is follow the ghost studs, which take note that in this version of the LEGO engine you can't even turn those off, and I think you would not stand a chance at actually succeeding in your level if you did turn them off.
They'll be fine.
Notice I'm using the nitro and I'm not really getting any closer. The rubber banding is activating specifically, so I can't. Notice he's getting further away. I'm using the nitro. So all I'm really doing by using the nitro is speeding up the race. And now they've hit a point where they're cool with me knocking them off the road. There we go.
I was long overdue a career change anyway, so thank you very much. You're actually doing me a favor. I was stuck in a rut in that place.
Again,
I'm gonna pursue my dream of becoming an accountant.
I'm getting the audio all on the right
Is anyone still listening to
channel.
Nice driving, Chase. I think you're gonna be a real asset to the crew. Now get the truck to Vinny's restaurant. He might not know you, but trust me, that shipment will smooth it over nicely.
I as well activate a disguise booth. Alright. So where does it want me to go? This way?
I've been speaking with the mayor's office, and she says you can do whatever you need to and charge any costs to the department. Whatever it takes to catch Rex Fury.
Your timing couldn't be better. I just took a delivery truck without permission.
Don't worry. I already started a tab for you after Frank told me about the car you took for Chan.
There's
Frank
a shadow
actually passed
on the
that
ground.
I'm
Interesting.
impressed.
It's
Well,
animating
he
very
was
badly.
gonna try asking Santa, but he checked with me first. I think he's starting to learn from his mistakes. I kind of feel proud of him.
I'll keep you updated if I have to take anything else, Ellie.
So it feels like the writers finally got a clue and realized they can't have us play the rest of this game playing the game in a way that you would expect a kid to play it, breaking small and large laws without potentially even knowing there are laws that they're breaking, without having to give some kind of justification. So I'm assuming for the rest of the game, we might hear a reminder here and there saying, remember, you're undercover, but we're paying for everything you steal, and we're pardoning you for every crime you commit. It's weird that the cars don't regenerate, at least after the person who was driving them originally jumps out of the car. Oh man, I'm skidding out really for no reason. The controls aren't terrible on driving. They're maybe a little sensitive.
Oh, great. Whiplash.
This long truck seems to be a little bit more difficult to drive than some of the smaller cars. They actually bothered to put some real-world driving feeling here, which I wouldn't have bothered to do. I would have had all the cars feel pretty much exactly the same, and then spent a lot more time correcting how they feel, speed them up, make them really tight on controls, make them feel very, very video gamey instead of realistic. I don't think too many people want a realistic feeling 18-wheeler. Just have to get through this section here, and we're getting to the ice cream factory, I guess. Will this give us a real level? We've gotten in front of several buildings
And now,
that could have
you wanted to
easily
see
been
me.
a Lego level.
His ice cream parlor was a gathering place for local hoodlums. There was Tony one time.
I guess it was supposed to be a
So-called because he
speakeasy,
said
and they
everything
changed it
he
to a
wants.
ice cream parlor.
Polly blindfolds.
No, tell him I can't see him today.
Lucky Pete.
Good to see you. Whoa! No! Hey, I found a penny.
It's
The crayfish twins.
Weird to have Lucky
Sorry,
Pete
wrong table.
and
Mikey's spoilers.
the other guy
Check it
who
out.
was accident
When you
prone.
get to the Space Center, you can knock down a planet from the ceiling to get a secret item.
You just spoiled some secret in the game. Wow. Yeah, they need to be careful on the "oh, I fell down" kid jokes.
So what?
You can have a
Are you
lot of
Asian?
them,
You think I'm
but
here to make you
not too
laugh?
many.
You think I'm funny?
And then you have
Funny
a
how?
highbrow,
I'm
my
sorry,
cousin
boss.
Vinny
Get
joke
out
here.
of here and unload that truck.
This is a pretty good voice actor that sounds like
Hey,
Danny
you
DeVito.
must be Chase. You come
little
highly
bit.
recommended. I won't forget what you did for my cousin. Oh, ignore the clothes, kid. It's my boy's birthday. I wanted to give him a nice surprise, you know? I've been looking forward to getting my hands on the stuff you got me for some time. They're called color guns, and they're of particular benefit to the less than legitimate fraternity. You know, us guys. Now, I need someone to see if these things really work by stealing the bell pepper emerald from the LEGO City Bank in downtown. You want to put one through its paces?
Well, I've come this far.
That's right. And don't worry about how to use it. I'll have a read through these instructions and phone them through to you. Good luck, Chasey.
So, yeah, the LEGO won't let you have real guns, even if you're playing as police, which kind of ruins the whole idea of the LEGO City Police sets in some way, or at least neuters the idea of it. So they're going to give you a color gun instead. Use the color gun to color LEGO objects. Some objects need to be specific colors to progress. This is a different gameplay mechanic. Press X to enter
Ellie,
aiming mode.
I'll have another thing for the tab soon. I'm about to break into a bank vault.
Which one?
The LEGO City Bank at downtown.
No problem. You need any help getting in?
Sure.
Okay, right. There's an entrance to the sewer in the gardens opposite the bank.
Whoa, wait. Sewer? I can't just walk in the front door?
It's a bank vault. The only way in is via a ventilation hatch on top of it. And the only way to that is via the sewer. Did you expect a red carpet?
No. Fine. Thanks, Ellie.
What is that smell?
So, it doesn't seem like I can pull out the color gun yet. Okay, there we go. So, right now I've got a purple color gun. It's coloring LEGO objects, but it doesn't seem like anything else. Let's see, people can be colored. Entire vehicles can be colored. We can paint the town purple, I guess. And this would open where I could get a dynamite. Then dynamite could potentially blow some stuff up. Where are we? We're in the new area, I guess, and they want us to go to a completely different area again. So I guess this is supposed to be the Little Italy area, for lack of a
Police
better
business.
description. But yeah, we're gonna basically spend an entire hour here, mostly just driving. Like 3 missions around the concept of driving. I get it. I know that they want me to understand that there's a big city here and there's a whole concept going on. Are we now in like a UK section of LEGO City? Like, there are a couple of London-esque builds, like the big red buses and Big Ben, and I don't think they have a Eye of the World, which is the big Ferris wheel in London. I don't think they have like a 10 Downing Street build, which would be kind of boring, or a Buckingham Palace build. So they have a little. They have a little for some of the famous buildings across of all of Europe, but not a lot. Not enough to try to build an entire city around it. And in all honesty, every build I just described that covers the European locations and the UK locations are expert builds, not LEGO City builds. The thing LEGO City has been doing more than anything is that they're working on releasing a large push towards named firemen characters, and so there's going to be like a whole. This looks like this is supposed to be the stock market. Alright, so. You can swap her to change the colors of gun. Find the correct code to progress. So, wait a minute. Here, holding Y, doing this. Holding Y. I guess I have to tap, maybe tap Y? How do I swap the guns? Color? Ooh, apparently there's colors over there. There's a decent amount of things to do over here.
Hey, what's up?
So where is this? Find a wall. Find another wall. Find another building. Okay, so we now know what these are. The question is, how do you get in there? What does that do? So there's a whole group of things here. TNT, and then several colors for the color gun. And I think that's probably going to be all we ever get as far as abilities. Although it seems weird because then there's 4 different hero classes that one would assume would have some kind of ability. It would make sense that the civilians don't have a gun, and Chase and the police have their grapple gun, and the pickaxe guy has dynamite. But so yeah, these other 4 abilities though, I guess would have to unlock, and they'd have to have something they could do. Meanwhile, I guess right now I can't do anything else. Yeah. So yeah, LEGO City is working on focusing on their fireman lines right now, releasing more of that. I imagine they'll get back to the police. They probably are gonna have to eventually think of some other things. Servicemen, postmen and trash drivers. We get occasional sets of those type of characters, but they probably should just expand it into something better. Animal control experts. I don't know how you do politicians in LEGO City and make them interesting, but maybe even try that. Or just civilians. Honestly, that would be your best bet, is if you came out with a line of named, pushed, animated, there's comic books, there's cartoons around certain civilians.
You in the bank?
That would be
wow.
useful.
Did you take a wrong turn? I'm kidding. I've been reading the instructions for the color gun.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're gonna need to fill it from a color swapper.
That sounds like an unusual thing to find in a sewer.
I agree. I just have this weird feeling there'll be one down there.
So don't know what this does.
I hope the LEGO City PD gets discounts from a dry cleaner.
Yeah. As somebody who has Lego City, a LEGO City of sorts, one of the hardest things to find is just normal people that are varied. When you get an expert build, you'll get a decent number of people, 4, 5, 6 people, but then it will be built in such a way that you could have considerably more people realistically. The Parisian restaurant, for instance, gives you about 3 people on the ground floor, when if you were to just have most of the seats in the restaurant full,
know how this key ended up in a
you
sewer.
would have to have closer to, I'm guessing, I'd say 8 minifigs extra, because of the fact that the Parisian restaurant has 3 floors, and there's only like one more character that fits between the remaining 2 floors. It's just a lot of tables, a lot of places. If you're gonna build streets, which is also a hard thing to do with Legos, because you're gonna need a lot of special pieces, or you're gonna need a lot of street base plates. By the way, storyline wise, it totally makes sense that a key found in the sewer would fit a lock just around that area. The person with the key trying to unlock that lock accidentally dropped it in the water.
What a significant looking red panel that is.
And the movie theater set, for instance, another great example. You build a cinema,
Why couldn't I learn to swim backstroke?
and you're given in that build a decent number of people. It's probably about 4 or 5, but there's at least 6 seats on the second floor of that set to just 4 people to actually just watch the movie, and it consequently leaves you, if you're putting together these sets and assembling them in the form of a Lego City,
It smells like these pipes are used to carry sprouts.
you struggle to find normal looking characters, and if you try to buy one of the series expansions of minifigs, all of those characters are in costumes, so it only kind of makes sense if you're saying that it's Halloween year-round, and that's why there's so many weird-looking costumed characters. Lego has addressed this somewhat because they've started giving out what they call people and places sets, and so you can get I believe there's a beach set of people and places, people packs. No, they're called people packs, I think. There's a beach one, there's a camping one. That's maybe all that's come out so far. and that helps a little bit, but it also still goes with the same kind of concept that you can't ride this boat. The camping people still kind of look like camping people, so they still kind of don't fit. What am I supposed to do? Just jump over here? I guess. That's weird. I really didn't expect that to work that way. I suppose it's worth mentioning in the real world that using a crowbar, anytime I've tried to use it, it's not anywhere as helpful as you might think. They are best used for removing nailed pieces of wood outside of other pieces of wood, and anything else is a little too demanding. You're not going to pry a door open with a crowbar. You would be much better if you're trying to be a cat burglar, pick the lock or cut the lock or force the door by kicking it if it's a wood door. That's faster than trying to use a crowbar.
I guess that's a color swapper then.
Alright, so now we have green.
The gun's got some kind of green stuff in it now.
Great. Now, if you see any electrical panels which are glowing red, you can shoot them with that thing to turn them on.
Ooh, I saw one back there over a gate.
You know, I've always wanted to see this bell pepper emerald. They say it's as big as your head. Used to belong to some royal dame, but she sold it, 'cause wearing it as a brooch gave her back trouble. I'll be in touch.
This is weird. The game's not even telling me where I'm supposed to take this. So I'm hoping this is the right direction. Yeah, it wasn't until I was nearly at the final location that it started pointing. So the radar's not programmed well in this. The game is stuttery like every other LEGO game on Windows. Guess at some point I would need to figure out how to... Let's try something here. Only disguises with a fire extinguisher can put out LEGO flames. So we do know one of the next thing we'll get some kind of fire extinguisher ability. A metal
Chase,
door,
I just read some more.
a metal
Keep a lookout
grate
for a
like
red
that
color swapper.
Right, red color
would
swapper.
be probably
This
easier
emerald. It's meant to be the most
just
flawless one in the
cut
world.
those
Not
bolts.
like those useless lumps of crystal they get out of the bluebell mine. I mean, they're valuable,
Cut
but
the
this
hinges.
thing, whoa!
It's weird how it seems like the color swapper is going to turn out to be the solution to several things. That makes it feel like this idea has been just kind of stolen from the Batman games, and there was this kind of large collection of Batman reliance on guns, or some kind of bat gun thing, if I recall correctly. Maybe I'm not even recalling correctly. Alright. So that wants to get shot, but not by what I've got. It wants to be shot by something else. Yeah, definitely doesn't feel right that... Yeah, and there's some toxic LEGO stuff going on. over here. But we'll unlock a vehicle. This seems very familiar to a level in the LEGO Batman section. Almost feels like you could jump up forward here. In that level, we were fighting the alligator, which I don't know if that even would make sense, because isn't that a Spider-Man enemy?
Down the toilet?
Maybe this was a. Maybe I'm thinking of LEGO Marvel superheroes. You mostly play the Spider-Man throughout LEGO Marvel superheroes to start with. This awkwardly controls. This is very awkward. So if I change a glowing Lego piece with the color gun, what does that accomplish? We are in a level here. I can't complain about that. It's been a long time though. It really feels like it's been nearly 2 hours until we got into a level, and now we're gonna go a little late because it took so long to get into a level. But still not really feeling the feels that I feel like I'd normally have in a LEGO game. Doesn't seem like there's having a consistent enemy amount. Yeah, if anything, they're dropping the ball on that, aren't they? Like, most LEGO games would totally have a constant amount of enemies attacking me, keeping the action high, but that's not what's going on. I run into 3 or 4 enemies and that's it, and that's pretty dull. Still can't. Water. We must get like a water gun at some point too. We got the red brick. Blow that up. While we're doing that, let's see what the new red brick is. Don't see anything interesting, so whatever this new red brick thing is, I must have to go back to the headquarters or wait till the end of the
Once you fill the
level.
color gun with red, you can use it to turn off electrical stuff by shooting any green electrical panels. You know, this is actually kinda like the old days when I used to rob banks myself. Except I ain't the one who's risking his neck this time. I'll read up some more.
So, green on red, red on green. That would make sense and be fine if that's all we're ever going to use it for. It's just red on green and green on red. But I don't think so. I think we're going to... Well, we've already seen that there's several other colors. So the system gets more complicated. And who's really to say how much longer this is? I kind of wish I had done another dropper map. That was a cool section. I don't know how you fix that. Is this gonna take me into a different area?
Oh, I can almost taste that big old gemstone. The bell pepper emerald is gonna make me a fortune!
You know someone that can handle the sale?
No need. We're stealing it to order. I've been doing some work for a private buyer, and he wants it real bad, so don't mess up. The last guy who messed up? Oh, man. That was a real shame.
What happened?
I couldn't justify employing him anymore, so he's sleeping with the fishes now.
What?
Yeah, he's a night watchman at the aquarium. I'll be in touch.
Honestly, if I ever found myself in a position where I was supposed to be a mobster, I think I'd probably put on a huge amount of bravado and threats. So I would threaten to murder people even if I never actually did, just to keep up appearances. But it is weird, certainly, to make these kind of references, like mobster murder references, to kids, which are supposed to be the target audience for this game. And if kids aren't the target audience for this game, I don't know who they were really making this for, because it's kind of too simplistic a game otherwise. Can I go back down here? Doesn't seem like it. Seems like I missed sections over there. Oh well.
I better find the emerald and get out of here before someone catches me.
Hey, Chase,
So it
I
looks
got to the
like-
really good part of the manual. You can use the color gun to turn things silver.
That kind of defeats the point of me robbing a bank, doesn't it?
It's not real silver, but it's close enough to make stuff all shiny and reflective. Useful if there are laser beams around. Capiche?
Yeah, that might be handy in this place.
Great. Just fill it with silver color if you see a swapper, and keep a lookout for the bell pepper emerald. Call me when you get out of the vault.
So apparently you get electrocuted if you don't do this lock picking or safe cracking mini.
Well, the emerald wasn't in there.
Alright. Alright. That diverts the laser beam that is a little hard to see. Piles of gold bricks to destroy. If I can make things silver to blow them up, that does open up the possibility that in the overworld,
Not in there either.
we're going to end up having to do a lot of shooting of things. Alright, so I ran into the laser brick and it didn't work. Kind of jumped to the end there. Okay. But you're not really doing anything, you're just waiting for it to turn blue.
Oh, come on. It's almost like they don't want anyone to take the emerald.
So the lasers seem to have just disappeared. And so we would need a blue, I think, to climb up there. It's not even going to bother to explain that. It's just saying figure it out yourself. Alright. And it looks like we're going to have to unlock some things. Yeah, you're not doing anything here. Just waiting for it to go green. Honestly, though, if half of the Skyrim lockpicking minigames were just wait until it goes green and then press a button, I think that would be fine with me. Like, a lot of that lockpicking in Skyrim was unnecessary stuff. There's a micro stutter. Haven't had those in a while. So here's a valve. Here's another valve. And here's another valve. So door number 1. Am I supposed to press B when it's lit? I guess that's the case. This is kind of hard because it doesn't react well. Seems like we're getting circuitry aligned. There we go. A bit of Ode to Joy playing. And of course Warner Brothers probably owns the license to Ode to Joy, or several presentations of it through Warner Music Group, one of the most notorious infringers and abusers of the Content ID system on YouTube. Feel like I could break this desk if I was a different character. Nope, I guess I can't. So we'll get a cutscene, I guess, and that'll be an end of that. It's showing my not stud count, but brick count.
Now that is a jewel.
Whoever's in here, you are breaking the law!
I think they probably already know that, Phil.
I guess I'm not getting out of here undetected then.
Okay. Weird that they're highlighting that I'm gonna escape this way, but whatever. So this would be the first instance of fighting the police instead of fighting bad guys, now that I'm undercover. So alright. So can I not throw a punch and just try to escape? I don't think so, because it seems like there would be just a little bit too much going on around here to deal with all of that. So much for my not hurting people idea. It's interesting to have a character do this in a LEGO game, play undercover. They kind of had to know this is what they were committing themselves to, though, is that they were, at some point, you were going to have to play as the bad guy fighting the good guys. And there kind of is no way around that. Whereas most other games have long since abandoned any kind of pretense of doing a game like this, where you are an undercover cop, because there's really no reason. It's all just fantasy fulfillment, and I might as well just let you play as the bad guy. Also, it's worth remembering that the vast majority of games outside of LEGO games are not kids games, and are in fact rated M for mature. So,
do I have enough bricks for that super build? I think I might.
So I already have enough, but I'm short on kind of everything else. Is this gonna unlock something? No. So it seems it's kind of a mistake to not try to get as many of the bricks as possible.
Well, it only seems fair I do something nice for the bank too.
See a spot here. And there's 5 more of those lying around somewhere. Please destroy all of this. I don't think I actually need to destroy all of these. This is a lot though. This is definitely a lot of little pieces. Let's see. Just buff out all these scuff marks. These devices that are for like a low cut business carpet, really, more than for polishing marble floor. At least that's how I've seen them used. Is not actually in any way to polish this kind of floor. This kind of floor, you really don't need to do too much to it. Just you can sweep it rather easily, or you can. Yeah, this would take way too long to get all of this. Or you can mop it, or you could maybe polish it and seal it, but I'm not even sure. You would kind of want an expert on that.
That's better. I hate waiting in line.
Quite frankly, it's not worth your time to use something like this in most instances. When a carpet would do just as a vacuum would do just as well. I have no idea what the numbers should be. So
a number. Maybe it's part of a combination.
We're running into a little bit more lagging. We're 12 minutes over already, but I don't want to end in the middle of a level. Green 7, blue 3, and final one. Hey, the bars are bent on this. Come on. It's awkward. That doesn't do anything more. We're looking for another piece. We can't do that. And we could build that, and that might just be out the end of it. Right. We'll end on 3. That should be fine. And then we'll put this on 7. Okay. Then try 10. Yep, that was that. So is this the exit of the level, or is this the exit of the level? I would suspect this just takes me back this way. And it looks to me like there's one vending machine right now that does anything. Maybe at some point we'll unlock a second vending machine that will do something different. And then there's a door here of some sort. Doesn't really make sense. It's like, I guess maybe there's a door that enters that other side. Over here. I swear it just picked up a piece of dynamite and then it lost it. Let's try this again. Maybe I didn't pick it up. Yeah, I guess I didn't pick it up. This level is getting a little too long, which is an odd statement to make considering how we haven't really had to deal with any of the other LEGO levels in a very long time. So I don't know, maybe they probably should have just had the sewer section and then had the bank section as a separate level, and I still feel like they should get rid of the vast majority of the open world stuff as we're doing the storyline stuff. Like, that should be something that we deal with later. So I got a couple of super bricks. Let's... There's still something around here, clearly. There's a platform there that wants an item. This. And there's... Alright. Something up there. Yeah, I don't know how I'd get up there. Alright, so let's see what this does. Feels like we're gonna build at some point. We're gonna have like a
Alright, jet-powered snowplow.
Yeah, that just ends the level. So we're gonna have something that allows us to completely fly or double jump or something.
Sorry.
Just get way
I meant to
higher.
have this place on Tuesdays, but the people listen to me? No. And they call this organized crime.
Studs times 4 now unlocked, and if it's like the previous studs multiplier, we don't even have to purchase it, so we're just gonna get more studs for nothing. With studs times 2 and studs times 4 unlocked, we're gonna get the True Hero Gold Bar LEGO Super City Hero full every time. No problem. So we're done with that. But there's still clearly at least some stuff to be done.
I've got the emerald.
Hey, good work, Chasey boy. I'll send you the location of the drop-off. And if I get any other jobs, I'll give you a call.
Thanks, Vinny.
Okay. So we have 2 minutes and 44 seconds to do this. I want to look at the map. We are here, and it wants us to run and drive all far distance over there. The music's playing rather loud. So we did like one level here, but I don't see where the replay level is. Probably because we're inside of a level right now. It's still kind of questionable how we could be, how we even would have I think we have 14. No, not 14. Like 11 or maybe 10 levels still to go. It's really questionable where those extra 10 levels are coming from, and if this is some kind of if we're going to run into a scenario where it just snowballs towards the end of the story. I don't know where the story really goes much further. Is like, it would be kind of repetitive if we had to join yet another gang and we were into the third gang at that point. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. But after that point, we kind of have to run into Rex Fury, and one assumes that we're going to be chasing after Rex Fury for the last 3 or 4 levels. Unless we find out Rex Fury isn't even the bad guy in this story, which I wouldn't be surprised. The twist that might be a little too adult here would be that Natalia's father is the bad guy. Rex Fury is escaping from him because Rex Fury has turned state's evidence, and that would also explain why the chief of police told me to stay off the case. But I don't know what else you could do. It's probably not that, though. I bet Rex Fury is always going to be the bad guy, and the concept is this is for a Lego City cartoon that probably happened. So, yeah, it's probably going to be pretty straightforward. But even with the straightforwardness of the story, the game seems to want to drag its feet. Well, we're 21 minutes over. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.